lucky to have you on our couch and singing live for us today. Such an honor.
I'm happy to be here.
Such an honor. Oh my goodness. I have so many questions because I've had viewers ask me to ask you some questions, and Curvy Girls ask you some questions about fashion later on, so we've got the gamut today.
Good time.
But first of all, I have to ask you, we know you're on The Voice.
Yes.
And I voted for you. Oh my goodness, like I'm just like so amazing. Katrina Parker sitting on my couch, everybody. Okay, got that out. So I'm feeling much better now. Got the nervousness out. What was your biggest surprise about being on this show?
You know, I think my biggest surprise was just the fact that I was able to do it. Nothing prepared me for that. I mean, you're sequestered with all the other contestants. It's very high stress. It's pretty high tension. Everything feels like it's such a huge deal. And you have like really not a lot of freedom from that. The schedule is kind of grueling.
Yes.
And so for me, I auditioned on a lark. I had some health issues, so I hadn't been singing for like 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
And that was my first time back on stage in a very long time. So I didn't expect to keep going, so I was such a mess. I was so anxious. I didn't expect that I would actually make it as far as I did. So, and I also didn't expect for it to kind of change my life. I went in with kind of cynical ideas about, you know, I didn't take it seriously when I went into it, and then I got in it and it was crazy. And when I was spit out of it, it was very like, oh wow, it's like you're floating on Mars for like months at a time. I mean, you really are in a bubble when you're on the show.
Yes.
And it's leaving that, as hard as it is and as crazy as it is, leaving that is really like a huge change, and you really have to readjust to like life after The Voice.
Right?
But it did change my life more than I thought it would. Like it opened doors for me that I never thought would be opened, and it made it possible to do music full time, which is incredible.
It's incredible, and I think you said that it was a lark for you. Think that
I
was
was like,
for
what's
all
wrong?
of us that heard you and we heard you sing for the very first time, we knew. We knew. It's like you're very, very special, and that voice is like you blew everybody away.
Wow,
incredible.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
It was fun. It was life changing on a lot of levels. It really was. I mean, I've always loved singing. I've always loved it, but that I think was the first time that it was like, okay, I have to keep doing it as hard as it is, and as difficult as it is not to have like immediate success. I've done it my whole life, but in that moment it was like, okay, this could be bigger than I thought it could.
Yeah. Look at you now, girl. From North Carolina.
From North Carolina,
Southern girl from North Carolina, doing big things. Incredible. I'm going to ask you such a fun question.
Yes.
Brad Wyman, our executive producer, he does crowdfunding. And
Awesome.
I found out that you crowdfunded your album.
I did, yeah.
Incredible.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
incredible.
It was incredible to me. I mean, it was via Kickstarter.
Yes.
And it was over a year after my episodes had aired. So the further you get away from the show, the harder it is to actually like get people's attention again and be like, hey, help me make an album. But everybody really kicked in and they made it happen. And I mean, it's a long process. We're still sending out things because I mean, we realize, I mean, one thing you have to remember when you do crowdfunding is, physical stuff.
Yes.
It can take a longer to get out than you think it will when you don't have a huge amount of manpower. So we're still sending stuff out, but it's like even just the fulfilling the rewards, I take so much joy in it because it's like, oh, okay, this person helped make this album happen.
That's right.
And now they're going to get something to remind them that
they're
a
part of it.
Exactly.
They become a part of it. And for everyone who doesn't really know about crowdfunding, Katrina's fans pitched in.
Yeah.
And this is the best way because your fans helped you make your album.
They did.
And that's just...
And it means a lot. It's a very special feeling, I have to say. And I'm happy I did it. And I'm happy with the way the album turned out and the way they all just kind of like rallied around it.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Fans lifting you up and getting that album out there and doing it your way.
Yes, we did it my way. And I mean, I had a very specific idea in mind when I left The Voice. I wanted to do a record that was more accessible and a little bit more mainstream and a little bit more pop, at least a portion of it. And that's what we did, and that's what the songs wanted. I mean, I really felt like that's the production we needed to do. And I mean, I'm proud of the way it turned out. Every record's different. Like the next record I'm gonna work on is Americana, which is very odd, I guess. But I mean, every record's different, and you have to do what you feel like you're meant to do.
You have to do you.
Yeah.
The next question I have to ask you, you are a role model to so many women out there. You are, because you're so encouraging, you're so positive, and you are a proud curvy girl. Katrina Parker is a proud curvy girl and wears it so well. How does it feel? Is it a lot of responsibility? Because I know you get fan mail from everybody, and does it feel a lot of responsibility?
It's so funny. I think for me, it's kind of galvanizing and motivating. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a big responsibility. I think it just feels like, wow. I mean, I feel like I'm a part of something bigger. I feel like this body positivity movement is such a good thing, and the idea that you can be glamorous and you can be beautiful and you can be polished at every shape and size, and that it's not about, you know, a number on a scale. You know, I like being a part of that. Like, it actually motivates me more. It doesn't make me feel more like, you know, nervous. It just, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm part of something bigger. And I do think I am. And I do think for me, you know, whatever weight I am, wherever I am, it's up to me to kind of, you know, represent that the best I possibly can.
Be
and
the
not
best you.
apologize for it and say,
Exactly.
I love myself. You know what I mean? And I want everyone else to feel the same way. So when they do, when they say you inspire me, or when they say, you know, you make me feel like I can be comfortable in my own skin. That's as exciting as like people buying my album. I mean, like
doesn't it feel
that feels good.
It
Yeah,
just does.
It really does.
You know, again, it's just being the best you can be.
Exactly.
Love your body and live for today. That's my motto.
I mean, it gives us breath. It gives us life. I wake up every morning and I'm alive. So it's kind of a wonderful thing. I mean, it's not mysterious. We know how the organs work, but it's just the function of the body, the fact that it keeps us alive, living, breathing every day, the processes. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. So why anybody would want me to hate that about myself is beyond me.
Right.
So,
living, enjoying life, enjoying life. When did you realize you had this voice? Like, have you sung since you were young?
Oh,
like,
I was the annoying kid that sung. I sang everywhere. I was on the playground singing to the swing set where you get a little reverb at the top.
Oh.
I was annoying. I loved to sing. I mean, I've been singing as long as I could talk. You know, and I went to school for music. I knew I wanted to do it. And you know, before The Voice, I've been working a day job and doing music in the evenings and really burned the candle at both ends for years. And that was the first time I really had like a little bit of like a break to kind of like push me forward a little.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
lots
that
of
voice
hard
has
knocks.
always been there.
It has, yeah, it's changed over the years. It's definitely changed a lot over the years. And I mean, as your voice will, as you kind of like change your technique and you know, it kind of changes with you.
Because it grows, right? As you grow, it grows with you.
I'd like to think it gets better. I mean, I really do. I listen to stuff now, and I'm like, okay, I'd like to think that 5 years ago it wasn't quite as good as it is now. I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to like grow. And I feel like writing as well. I feel like it changes every time. I want to think it's getting a little better. Because if it's not, you're not doing something right.
Well, it's amazing. It's always been amazing, but this album is like, wow.
Thank you so much.
And of course, this is Go Curvy, and on Go Curvy, we love fashions. So the viewers want to know about your style.
Oh my God,
Every
I love
time
clothes.
I see you, you look absolutely smashing.
Thank you.
And I know you have a certain style.
I do. I really like vintage inspired dresses. And, you know, I've always loved dresses. I haven't worn a pair of jeans since like 2000 probably.
Not either. Dress girl.
I love dresses. I love the way they feel. I feel like it represents the way I feel inside, the way I feel as a singer and creator as well. And vintage inspired, it wasn't like a choice. Like it wasn't like I'm gonna do vintage inspired clothing. It was more a thing of this feels right on my body type. Like this looks the best on me. This makes me feel good. And this is a representation of who I am. So once you go down that rabbit hole, and you find, I mean, I discovered pinup girl clothing. They're my number one. They supply me with so much of the stuff that I wear on red carpets and at events. And they've been such a great partner because I feel like the fact that they use plus size models.
Exactly.
Every size models on their website. I don't know of anyone else in that particular like type of clothing like arena that does that. You know, and I've had luck with Stop Staring. I've worn some of their clothes. Unique Vintage is a shop here in LA that's pretty great. And also Bernie Dexter has sent me some wonderful stuff. If you're looking for daytime clothing that's fun and flirty with crazy awesome patterns that are very feminine, her stuff is so much fun. Wow. I mean, really, it's just really fun and flirty, and it's less like serious. Yeah. And that's why I love it. Yeah. So, but Pinup Girl, they're the ones that have really, I feel like partnered with me and like helped me change my style up a little bit.
Amazing. Amazing.
So what I'm wearing now, Laura Burns for Pinup Girl.
Ooh, and she wears it well, my goodness.
Oh my, thank you. Thank you so much.
One last question for you. What does 2014 look like for Katrina Parker?
Oh, it looks exciting and scary at the same time. I have some stuff that I have to keep under wraps for now that I'm working on, but so far it's been an amazing year. I just was on an episode of Millionaire Matchmaker that aired last week. Whoa, the things you'll try. I mean, I was very nervous to do it. I mean, it's kind of like an intimate part of your life that you're sharing with everybody, but it ended up being, Patty's wonderful. It ended up being a really great experience. You know, I met her beforehand, so it was a very natural thing. So that aired last week. So that's how my 2014 started. And we're looking forward to doing a lot of things. We have a Stage It coming next week on the 12th. It's going to be like an early evening thing so East Coast can watch.
Nice.
So we have a Stage It coming up. We're going to do a YouTube series with a lot of acoustic new songs that are going to be on the next album. And then we're going to do another EP probably like in March or April.
So
it's already
you're
time.
A busy lady.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay busy.
And the year's just started. Will you come back and just update us and let us know what's happening?
Are you kidding? I'd love to come back. You've been so great. This is fun, and I love everything that you're about. And you're a lovely person, so of course I would come back.